Hi, everyone. Welcome to week one of English 200. I'm your instructor. You can call me Mrs. LT. I just wanted to take a little bit of time here at the beginning of week one to explain, how best to get started here in the first week of the course. There's a lot going on, and it can be a little confusing and overwhelming at first. So I'm going to give you a brief explanation and show you some things. And that way you'll be able to get started with a little more confidence and perhaps less anxiety, and things will go a little smoother for you. Let's go ahead and take a look at the class here. All right, so if you're watching this video, you are here on the course homepage. And here under the welcome announcement, obviously the video is not there yet because I'm making it right now. But every week there will be a new weekly announcement, and there will be a video where I go through everything for that week with you. The first thing you'll see under the video is a little brief introduction. This week is a little longer than normal. There's just a lot to share with you here in week one. But everything here in this section is very similar to what I shared with you in the welcome email that I sent out. This is just a much more abridged version of it, telling you, where to go first, and then what to do after that, and what to do after that, to sort of get you started on the right foot here in the first week. So most weeks, though, this section will be much shorter. And then you scroll down and you'll see week one instructions. There will be instructions for every additional week as well. Every time a new week starts, there'll be a new announcement. So that means a new video and a new set of instructions for that particular week. The instructions are really just an outline, an agenda of what you're going to be expected to accomplish throughout that week. So the first thing that you'll see listed on every agenda is the attendance quiz. You'll have to take the attendance quiz at the start of each week in order to access the lessons and assignments for that week. So I explained this a little bit in the email as well. And then there's another section that we'll look at here in a minute where I explain it in even more detail. But that's the first item on every week's agenda, is to take the attendance quiz, right? Then for this week, you have the syllabus review. So there will be a link to the syllabus as a Word document, and then a video where I go through the syllabus with you and sort of hit all of the important information that you need to be aware of. Okay. Then there is a section for the course project, just giving you an overview of what the course project entails. You actually do get started on it here in week one. So I wanted to give you sort of a big picture overview of that course project. To make sure that you look at that video, and then there's a handout that's pasted underneath it that you'll be able to read as well. Then we have our first true lesson here in week one, which is Introduction to Writing. So there'll be a video where I go over a PowerPoint with you, like you'll see it in real time, me going through the PowerPoint. And then there's a link to the PowerPoint right under the video. So you can download it for yourself if you'd like. Our second lesson is on the writing process. Again, a video where I will be going through the PowerPoint, and then a link to the PowerPoint located under the video. Then we have our homework for week one. The first item is the syllabus acknowledgement. So this is a very easy assignment as long as you have already looked at the course syllabus and watched the video where I go through the highlights. It's just a little assignment asking you to verify that you have indeed done that. Then we've got project part one. Now, project part one will not be visible to you right away. Like once you take the week one attendance quiz, first item on the list, as soon as you submit that quiz, you will then be able to see the syllabus review, the course project overview, introduction to writing, the writing process, syllabus acknowledgement, and week one discussion. But project part one won't show up yet. And that's because if you notice here, it says refer to release conditions tab under getting started for a reminder of what you must complete in order to access project part one. So just like you have to take the attendance quiz each week to access the lessons and assignments for that week, there are certain assignments in the class that also require you to do certain things before you can access that assignment. We call those release conditions. And project part 1 is one of those items that has release conditions attached to it. So you're not going to see it right away. You have to go through these required lessons right here. That's why that word required is in all caps next to each of these. You have to go through each of these lessons before project part 1 will show up for you. There is a section in the Getting Started part of the course that lists all of the release conditions. I will be showing you that in another video, right? But every week you will see, the lessons for the week on this outline and the homework for the week at the bottom of the outline. And if any of these assignments has release conditions attached to it, it will tell you, okay? So it shouldn't come as a big surprise. It's listed here, that there are release conditions. So that tells you I'm not going to see it. Even after I take that week's attendance quiz, I'm probably not going to see that assignment until I have completed the release conditions attached to it. Okay. But an outline just like this will be there on the announcement every week. Okay. So a good place to start every week, log into the course, watch the announcement video, look at the agenda real quick, pay attention to the homework, right? And then, you can go into the content and take a look at the week, take the attendance quiz, and then you can see these items in more detail. But even before you take the attendance quiz, it's nice to just see what's in store for you for the week. Now, after you have looked at the announcement, you're going to want to click on content, and that takes you into the heart of the course. You're going to see all of these tabs down the left-hand side, getting started, week 1 module, week 2 module. You're going to be tempted to jump right into week 1 module, but that is actually not what you want to do. You could go ahead and take the week 1 attendance quiz if you want, but if you do that, don't pay attention to any of this stuff just yet, because where you really want to start is with getting started. And that's why it's called Getting Started. So if you click on Getting Started, you're going to see several sub-tabs listed. Meet your instructor, course overview, attendance and weekly deadlines. This is a very important section that you want to take a look at. Watch the video, some written explanation for you as well. How to find your way around, equally important section that you want to take a look at. And in fact, both of these sections make up the questions that are on the week 1 attendance quiz. So it really is a better idea to start here before you do anything in week 1, right? Because trying to take that week 1 attendance quiz before you go through these sections, you're probably not going to get the answers right, okay? But the attendance and weekly deadlines explains those attendance quizzes in a lot of detail. So again, it's really best to start with getting started. Attendance and weekly deadlines is a super important one that you want to pay attention to. How to find your way around is one that you really want to pay attention to. That's where the week 1 attendance quiz questions will come from, those 2 items. You also have the syllabus here. We also have our textbook instructions, my late work policy, which I will cover when I go over the syllabus this week, but it's here in case you ever need to come back to it instead of searching through the syllabus for it. Those release conditions that I just mentioned for certain assignments, I have them listed here under Getting Started as well. Again, this is something that I'll go into more detail about in this video, how to find your way around, but just know that the release conditions for all the assignments are here for you if you ever need to come back to double check anything. Then I have instructions for using Google Docs. You will be writing some formal pieces. So you can always come back to Google Docs if you don't have access to Word or something like that. So definitely work your way through these, especially the super important ones. And then you can get started on week 1. You know, once you take the attendance quiz, then these items will show up for you. Obviously, I'm on the instructor side, so they're always visible to me. But like I said, when you first click on week one, the only thing you'll see is week one attendance quiz. After you submit it, then the rest of this will show up for you. Go to week one assignments. And again, if you haven't gone through these required components yet, the only thing you'll see at first is syllabus acknowledgement and week one discussion. Right? So once you have gone through these lessons, then project part one will show up for you. Okay, but that is the best way to get started here in week one, going through the important elements under getting started, then clicking on week one module, taking the week one attendance quiz, and then working your way through each of these items. Then you can get started on the homework. So the homework for this week, the syllabus acknowledgement, try to have that completed by Sunday night at 11:59. Project part one, also due Sunday night at 11:59. Week one discussion, you want to try to have your first post up by Thursday night of this week so that everyone has plenty of time and plenty of classmates to choose from, because you have to respond to 2 classmates for the discussion. So try to have your first post up by Thursday night and your 2 peer responses up by Sunday night at 11:59. Okay. There will be videos in the instructions for most assignments in this class. So, you know, you get plenty of guidance and explanation for all of them. But this is just a general rundown of what is in store for you this week. But again, start up here. That will ensure that you are starting off in a good place, and especially with attendance and weekly deadlines and how to find your way around. Once you go through those, so much of the course will make more sense to you, and then you'll know what to expect each week, because each week is structured exactly the same. Okay, so that's enough for this announcement, I think. I promise they're normally not this long, but again, week one is a big week. So definitely reach out if you have any questions or run into any kind of problems whatsoever. You know, I'm here to help however I can. Otherwise, you're free to go ahead and get started.